Tater Tots. This is the weekly rundown with me, Lamont, as your host. We got a lot of exciting things going on today. Lots of great things to get through today. I am so excited that you came to join me here today. That is awesome. You can phone in live now. So if you want to talk to me live and in person, you can. That's 1-844-340-5001. If you notice in the chat, there is some links to a poll, an X poll, and I'll get to that later on. So if you do want to phone in live at any point, at any time, it is 1-844-340-5001. You know, if you phone in, interrupt, we don't get through all the stuff that I wanted to get through, no big deal. None at all. We can do that next week. Nothing is super important today. So where do we start? We start with our sports talk. So the sports that I follow, which is football and basketball. I don't really follow football that much, but here in the weekly rundown, we go over the football. We know that NFL is done, and basketball is on their all-star break. Oh, well, I think they had a game. I think the Lakers lost yesterday. Whoop, whoop. So that's pretty fun, but I think most of the games start today. The all-star game sucks. The all-star game, like hockey does it right. Okay, hockey does it for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a culture thing or anything else like that, but hockey is really, really good when it comes to doing their all-star and stuff like this. They're awesome. They're the best by far, even better than baseball, I would say. So I don't have anything to talk about other than, and the dunk contest was okay. You have pretty much a professional dunker going in there. There's no big names, no nothing. Mac McClung won again, which is good. He's a really good dunker. But he doesn't really play in the NBA. Like it's kind of weird. So here in the Dick family here, we have a week off of school. So there is no school basketball. So for my team, we'll have one game next week and then it's playoffs. We should do quite well. It is ours to lose. And Serafina has this week off, and then a couple more games. She has 2 more weeks, then the playoffs. So it's all winding down. Now comes to the exciting thing. So I'm thinking, what would be kind of fun for us as Tater Tots here at In the Redeemer? What would be fun to do as sort of a group, right? As you know, I like sports. I like pretty much any sports. So why don't we pick a indoor football team to cheer for? Okay? I think that'd be super fun, but there is 3 active leagues right now for indoor football, and they start quite soon in March, right? So you have the IFL, so the Indoor Football League. You have the AFL, which is the longest running one. It's the Arena Football League. And then you have the NAL, which is the National Arena League. Now, I know for sure the IFL and the NAL are going to be starting very soon. The bigger one, the AFL, I went on their website and I couldn't find when they started or whatever. I think it's the AFL. Just hold on here. So yeah, the AFL's, which Arena Football League. Nothing about the 2025 season. The IFL, right? Yeah, IFL, the Indoor Football League, starts March 21st. And then what's kind of cool with the NAL, which is the National Arena League, it actually has the week to countdown days. So for them, it's 16 days, 11 hours, 40 minutes. Now, I have if you look on the chat there, I have a link you can click on, and it'll get you to the poll I have on X. So trying to drive a little bit of, traffic to my page there or what I do there. Basically, I just post stuff when things are being brought live as for everything in the Redeemer. I do also live stream my weekly rundown and our daily Divine Mercy Chaplet there, and a little bit of traction. I have a few people from around the world that listen to us and pray with us, so that's pretty awesome. But I thought that would be a very convenient way to track what people are interested in. Now, if you don't want to go on X or anything else like this, why don't you email me or phone me even or anything, leave a message. that would be great, which sort of league we want to pick. And then out of that league, we'll pick a team from that league to cheer for. And that would be our official Tater Tot team to cheer for. And we will be, yes, indeed, super fans for this team, this random team. We will be super fans. We will talk on the weekly rundown about how our team went and everything else. It's going to be exciting. I like it. And it's kind of an obscure sort of sport that it'd just be fun to be nerdy. You're going, maybe some of you have social situations where you're talking to other people. I try to keep those situations on the lowdown. Like, I don't like them very much, but I do have to be engaged in some of them. Wouldn't it be cool to say, yeah, I'm cheering for such and such a team, and they're like, whoa, what sport is that? And you say, well, it's indoor football. Indoor football, if you don't know, is super exciting. I watched the last year's championship game. I think it was the IFL or something like that. Anyways, it's on YouTube. It's pretty awesome. And because they're very niche sort of thing, most of their stuff is online and on YouTube and stuff like that. So maybe that would be a decision for you to which league to cheer for, like how accessible is their games and stuff like this. Do we need some sort of account or whatever? Anyways, you check that out. I will I have the final say, of course, but I will try to respect the will of the people. But if the will of the people is not, is impossible to fulfill, then I can't. But anyways, I will try to do that. Hopefully my hope is that I'll have more than 10 respondents for the poll, because next week on the weekly rundown, I'll pick the league. Well, we'll pick the league. And then from that week forward, we'll pick the team from that league. So it's pretty exciting. Just a quick, kind of round up what's going on here is Serafina is gone to the Darbalays right now. So that's awesome for her. She's super excited about that. It's super exciting that the Darbalays are generous enough to have Serafina over for a few days. So it was a quick trip for me back and forth from Saskatoon yesterday. My sister had a successful surgery on her toe, which is pretty awesome. She's back here in Moose Jaw. Praise God. And I've been doing actually lots of work as my director of Deacon Hat. And it's been, I've actually, there's some movement in what I'm doing, which is taking way too long on my end. So, but actually there is some movement. I'm actually doing some stuff. Today I wasn't going to do much work, but, because Thursday is traditionally my day off, but I didn't do much work yesterday. So I'm going to have to go through a bunch of emails. I have a bunch of emails that I need to, do. So in the last couple of days, so yesterday was Christine's funeral here at Moose Jaw, and the day before that was her vigil prayers, which was very well attended, even though it was super cold out. I imagine yesterday her funeral was quite large. She was a very big part of our community, not only in the church, but in the greater community. So rest in peace, Christine. So that's kind of just a brief rundown. And Catherine is doing her tests for her canon law right now, like her second year stuff. And so, yeah, it's been kind of busy on our end. So instead of going through news, which I usually do, and I want to remind you, you can phone me anytime at 1-844-340-5001. I'm just going to check if there's any messages here. Yeah. Oh, it's Connell listening. Hey, special shout out to Connell. Hey, man, you could phone in, Connell. It's 1-844-340-5001. You're up early. You should be sleeping right now, but who cares about sleep, really, right? Sleep is for the weak, I guess. That's my inconsequential hot take. Actually, it's not. I have two actually today. So instead of news and stuff like that, I'm going to go over. Some people have been asking me what podcasts I listen to. So I listen to quite a few podcasts because I'm a nerd, full stop. But the ones I'm going to go through are not that nerdy. I do listen to off and on some really good history stuff. Maybe I'll do this. This is more like news stuff. Maybe next time I'll talk about my more general interest podcast, although one is not news. So anyways, sort of the ones that I do. So anyways, there's one podcast I rarely miss. I very much like it. I wish, now here is something for my listeners to maybe research. I wish there was a version of this, but in a Catholic perspective. So it's called The Briefing by Albert Mohler. He used to be the past president of the Southern Baptist Convention. Now, he's really good. Okay, you don't have to agree with him all the time, but he really does on a day-to-day basis give interpretation of news events from a Christian perspective, and it's very well done. He is very knowledgeable. Now, he is obviously, when it comes to theology and stuff like this, he's very wrong, but he's very fair. He talks about, sometimes I just do fast forward, sometimes he does weigh into Catholic stuff, so that stuff is usually not very helpful. But when it comes to like life issues, when it comes to just how we should run a country, now he's in the States, but he does talk a lot about what's a proper way of ordering a society, talks a lot about family. It's really good. I really recommend you check that out. This is probably the only podcast that I say, yeah, you should listen to this guy. He is really, really good. It's called The Briefing by Albert Mohler. Just Google up The Briefing Baptist or whatever. It's very, very good. It's, like I said, probably the only podcast that I recommend for everyone. Even if you're not a believer, it is good because it gives, I think, a really good summary of a Christian worldview, like kind of a generic Christian worldview, like a true, like he's not one of those pretend Christians either. It's very well done. Like I said, I wish there was something on a day-to-day basis, and it's quite short. Like it's not going to eat up a lot of your time from a Catholic perspective. I tried to do this a few years ago, and it is harder than it looks. I tried it. I think I did like a whole week, like 5 days. And then after that, I just shut it down. Probably none of you listening today actually listened to my foray into that sort of genre. It was abysmal, to say the least. I didn't think I didn't do a good job. And really, that to do it properly, it really takes up a lot of your time. So another podcast I listen to it's a daily called The Newsworthy. It's a very generic sort of left-leaning, just give you the news, the world news. It is based in the United States, but it's very good. It does have a few ads to it. You can just fast forward those things pretty easily, but it's quick. It's kind of fun. I don't even know. I started listening to it when it first came on the scene quite a few years ago, and I still listen to it. It's short, and it gives me a different perspective than a lot of my other news sources I get. So it's fun. I like it. It's pretty kind of bubblegummy for the mind if you like news. So now the next two are Canadian focus, Canadian news. I do listen to, I didn't write it on my list, but one of the things I do is that CBC has a morning sort of newscast. It's about like, I don't know, not very, very long. I do listen to my podcast at about 2 times the speed, or at least 1.5. I've been doing this for so many years that when I just listen to something at like normal speed, it's too slow for me. So I don't think that's a good thing, to say the least, but I do get through a lot of podcasting throughout the day. So I do listen to this, and that's basically the only, I don't know, sometimes that's the only consistent CBC thing I listen to. I try to get some Canadian news. Maybe it shocks no one listening to this, is I don't really like the CBC anymore, and that's actually a sadness for me. I grew up on CBC. My dad would listen to the morning CBC, like 540 radio every morning. I liked it. It gave me a good perspective of the world, and I really liked a lot of the shows, like Arthur Black, Finkelman's 45s. There used to be a radio food show. Yeah, believe it or not, a radio food show. I think it was called Spice Road, and it was on Saturday mornings, I think after Basic Black. Anyways, but that was long gone. Anyways, some really good things, and I think it really united the country. But it just got too, like, it become way too politically active for my liking. Even if it was politically active on what I would consider good, I still wouldn't have liked it for the CBC. It needs to be either radically reformed or maybe, I don't know, because I do find that there is a place for a national broadcasting, like TV. CBC TV can just go the way of the dinosaur. I don't really care. I would like all that money to be pumped into good radio. I think good radio is important. So that's a long kind of diatribe to say that I used to listen to a lot. I used to listen to The Current a lot and everything else. Now, basically, just this morning news. I think it's the World at not 6. Anyways, just look up on your podcasting app like CBC News, and it's the morning one. So after I said that's the only CBC show, I do listen to The House pretty much every week. I think it gives a good overall political looking at the world and stuff like this. I do, and I don't have this on my list, but I do listen to sometimes Canadaland, although Canadaland can be really grating, and the perspective of the editorial place there is just not to my liking. But they just interviewed Jagmeet Singh, which I think was the best interview anyone's given to Jagmeet. So it's good in a sense of an alternative voice and stuff like that, which I really appreciate. But my other CBC thing is The House that I listen to, which really talks about basically politics in Canada. There's also another Canadian podcast that I listen to. Shout out to Jay-Z. That's James Zick. Anyways, he got me on listening to The Line. It is an independent Canadian news source. It can be a little bit not safe for work in a sense because of the language a little bit, but it's really good. It's probably the best, I don't know, it's hard to say. Anyways, like just pure Canadian political podcasts. I tried to listen to some other ones. People have recommended me other Canadian political podcasts, but I find them too vulgar or just too sensational. I just don't like that at all. I like something semi-serious that I can sink my teeth into. My last two, very quickly, because it's already 6:32. I thought this was going to be super short. I was really scrambling to find some stuff to talk about today, but obviously that is not my problem. I'll believe it or not. So, of course, I'm really into basketball. My basketball podcast of choice is No Dunks. It's very good. I do have sometimes trouble sleeping or whatever. And when I'm out of the bed, I'm downstairs sleeping or whatever. And to go to sleep, I used to listen. So No Dunks is a group of guys that started out gazillion years ago, I think over 20 years ago, doing a podcast called The Basketball Joneses. So, and you can find them on YouTube, the old ones, like 20 years ago, and then I'd listen to that to go to sleep. It's like this. I like No Dunks. They don't take themselves too seriously. If you want just a quick and very, very entertaining podcast about basketball, these are the guys to do it. Their personalities is fun and everything else like this. Very, very secular, of course. It's no really religious veneer on it at all. So just so you know, but it is, it's good. It's entertaining. I like it a lot. And last but not least is the Loopcast. So if you are interested in Catholic political thought, unfortunately, I wish there could be something like this in Canada. There is some stuff in Canada, but I don't like it. Okay, I'll just be honest. Maybe my next time we go to the weekly rundown, I can kind of get into the weeds about why I don't like some of the Canadian Catholic sort of political action groups here. I've been invited to a lot of that stuff, and I find it. Anyways, I won't get into it. But the Loopcast is Catholic, a podcast from an organization called Catholic Vote. One thing I love about the Loopcast, there is two young people. I think they're in their 20s, and there's somebody I think in their 50s or late 40s, and that dynamic is awesome. And they can be a little bit too much for me, but I think if you want a good Catholic perspective on politics from a very traditional Catholic perspective, that's the place for you. It's called Loopcast. It's very good. So those are some of the podcasts I listened to. Obviously, it was very heavy on the news. Maybe next time I'll go through some of the podcasts I listen to about history and everything else like that. Here are what am I reading? So no change from last week. I won't give much information on that. There's no change from last week. I am doing a lot more reading for work. It's like this, and that's just boring, and no one really wants to know about that stuff. Anyways, what am I watching? We went to 2 movies last week. It was kind of fun. We went to the new Paddington Bear movie. We all did, and it was okay. It was not as good as the second one. The second one is so good. Paddington Bear, the one where he goes to jail, it's like this is just so good. And this one just didn't it didn't have character. It was just kind of flat. And of course it was good. The acting was okay. Paddington Bear as a character is always fun and everything else like this. It was okay. Would I recommend you to watch it? Probably not, but I love going to the movies. Okay, I love it. It's one of the things I really enjoy is going to the movies. The second movie we watched was Serafina and I. Serafina and I really like the movies of Captain Underpants. Brilliant, really. I know I said brilliant. That's a movie I would recommend for the family or just for a goofy, clean movie. So we went to see Dogman, and Dogman was not good. It wasn't good in it. It was, first of all, it was too long. I really hate movies that are too long for no purpose. So, and I'm a person that likes Russian cinema and some really epic movies, but those are even The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, very long movie, but it's good, right? Long movies that aren't meant to be long are just really tedious. Dogman was way too long. The plot, I know I'm talking about a plot about a children's movie called Dogman. Anyways, was not good in a sense. And they try to weave in, don't take yourself too seriously. Okay, they're trying to weave in kind of bigger themes or whatever. It wasn't good. I'm glad I watched it though. I love going to the movies with Serafina. It is such a joy to go there and just kind of hang out and watch a movie. That part of it was good. Eating popcorn, awesome. Movie itself, I don't know. Not that great. Okay, what about this? This is a good what about this. Let us appreciate people who have every right to make fun of us, but don't. Okay, where does this come from? Okay, I thought I had a flat tire on my car. This was Tuesday. Yeah, today's Thursday. So Tuesday, I thought I had a flat tire. And I thought I had this flat tire on Monday. Right before I went to bed, I plugged in the car. I looked at my tire. I'm like, oh, crap. So had a very restless sleep. I woke up, did my prayers, went to the dealership, and they're really busy. They usually have, I think, 5 or 7 mechanics and technicians. They only had 2 on. So it's busy, and they're canceling appointments, everything. I go there early, and I said, could you just check this out? I think I have a flat tire or whatever. But as I went out, so before I talked to the lady, as I went out, I look at my tire. I'm like, I don't think it's flat. Anyways, I'm here anyways. I got to check it out. So I go there. Everything's busy. It's just crazy. Everything else. So they told me, oh, we'll look at it sometime before noon. Okay, so it's around before 8 at this time when I'm told. I said, I'm just going to wait for right now. Everyone in my end is pretty busy or whatever. So an hour goes by, hour and a half. I ask someone to pick me up. And then anyways, the lady comes to me and says, did you put any air in any of your tires this morning? I said, no. She said, there's nothing wrong with your car. I'm like, oh, grief. Okay. So anyways, one of the good things is she got some parts for my recall. Anyway, so I talked to the technician. Now, the technician could make fun of me. He had every right, even to make kind of a snarky remark. I would appreciate that. I felt like an idiot. I actually talked with him. I said, I'm sorry I wasted your time. I gave him a little bit of a gratuity, no doubt about it. I felt kind of bad to waste this guy's time. And instead of kind of, even if he was a little bit snarky, trust me, I'm giving him that gratuity, right? It's busy. I could tell that he was really, really busy, but he took time, for one, to talk to me. And number 2, this is what he said. He said, hey, man, don't worry about it. It's better to be safe than sorry. It is very cold out. You don't want to be stranded on the side with something that you could have prevented. He says, I don't mind doing these things. Boom. We should appreciate people like that. I need to be a person like that way more in my life. So anyways, that's a what about this. Let's appreciate people that could just kind of tease us or make fun of us and don't. Yeah. So I don't have any disputed areas or anything else like this. I do have 2 inconsequential hot takes. Okay. One's a potential inconsequential hot take. The other one is a legitimate one. This is the legitimate one. Stretching in the gym as a beginner is the most awkward thing you can do. Okay. It is true. Even if you don't like public speaking or you think all these other things are awkward, just go to a gym and stretch. and you're just a beginner. You're not one of those pros who are like doing the splits and everything else. You're me, who's doing this stretch or whatever called the dead bug, which I look ridiculous, or I'm planking and after 3 seconds, my whole body's shaking. I'm here on my phone trying to get some stretches and these. Also, doing core workouts at the gym when you are an absolute beginner is also super awkward. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm surprised no gym dude would come to me and say, dude, you're doing this all wrong. Because I found out after I did what was called a Russian twist, it's to work your core. It's a very good exercise. I'm still sore from it. I did that totally wrong. I just weird. You're self-conscious because everybody else, unlike lifting weights, okay, you lift weights, everyone's at different levels. It's not really no one's there, but you're at this huge mirror. You're sometimes with other people who are way better than you are, and you're stretching and you look like a complete fool. It's super awkward. So that is my inconsequential hot take. And if you can think of anything more awkward than that, please let me know. Please let me know. Okay, just a random conversation with my sister. Okay, my sister and her husband, Daniel, went to the movie. And my sister just casually said, it wasn't a great movie, but I got to have my nachos. I'm like, nachos at a movie? What? So this is a thing. And there is people on the interwebs that say that the best movie snack is not popcorn, but nachos. What? Better than popcorn? Now, I'm a nacho lover. Yeah, I like nachos. But better than popcorn at a movie? I don't know. So I did hear this before I went to see Dogman, and I was hyped that I might get nachos for Dogman, but I caved. Man, I caved into the big popcorn. The big popcorn propaganda told me, no, you have to have popcorn in a movie. So next time I go to a movie, which will be probably in the next few weeks, probably beginning of next month, I am going to get nachos. And I'm going to see, is it better than popcorn? Is it? Now, all you faithful listeners out there, you tell me, is nachos better than popcorn? Someone asked me, can you phone in? I only have a few more minutes, but if you want to phone in, you can phone in. Go right ahead. Use the phone. See if my technology works, because I'm just wrapping it up right now. So if you want to phone, give me a call. I'll be on here. And please, before I go, check out, we have some static there. Maybe someone is trying to phone me. Maybe this is what it's all about. Nope, not yet. Anyways, if you want to, be a fan of a random indoor football, please come on down. It's pinned on my X account or whatever. And I also left a message. Let's go invite. Okay, let's see what we got here. We might have the technology. We're using it here. Okay, just 1 second here. Okay, we can. No. Okay. Oh, okay. We're okay. You can, if you want to talk, go right ahead. Is it connected? We have. I don't know what happened here, but we will. Sorry about that. Okay. I don't know. This is not good. This is not good radio right now. I don't know why. Oh, okay. Here you can. No, I don't want to mute you. Okay, you can talk. Hello. I don't know. Oh, just hold on 1 second. Hello, can you hear me now? Can you talk?
I can hear you.
Oh, right on. We can hear you too. What's up, Connell?
Okay. Good. Over here. I mean, it's the morning, I guess.
Yeah. So give me an inconsequential hot take or something.
I actually do think that nachos are better than popcorn.
There is no way. You've had nachos at a movie theater.
No, I've never had them at a movie theater. I mean, well, I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah.
But I do think nachos are better than popcorn.
Okay, yeah, randomly. Like, I'm not going to have, like, popcorn for supper, of course. Duh, right?
Well, I'd have nachos over popcorn every single day of the year.
Even at a movie theater? Even at a movie theater?
No, even at a movie theater.
Okay, but you've never had it, though. So how do we know that how do you know that's better than popcorn? Do you like popcorn?
Oh, yes, I like popcorn. Not as much as I like nachos.
Okay, do you like it with lots of butter and salt?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. It's delicious. It's easy. Like you just grab a handful, you put it in your mouth, you're watching a movie. Like, okay, so obviously taste, nachos is better overall taste,
Yeah.
but the way you enjoy a movie is with popcorn. I don't know if this.
I know it's like that's like the nostalgic thing, but like
Okay, how old are you?
the
There's
seeds
no way.
always get the
Well,
seeds are always
oh,
like,
sorry.
whoa.
Yeah, no, that's me. Sorry. This is why I need a producer. Sorry, we won't have that interruption
Okay.
again. Um, but you've never had nachos at a movie theater. This is the whole thing. We're not talking about
No.
generally. We're talking about if it's better at a movie theater. That's full stop. I don't
Well,
know.
I would hope that it's better.
Yeah. It might get messy though. All that liquid
Yeah.
cheese and everything else. And then you have to
I mean,
popcorn's awesome because you don't have to think about eating popcorn. Right? You just shove it in your mouth. Nachos, you got to make sure you got the cheese ratio on the chip. You have to be a little bit more conscious about eating
here's the
it.
thing. Here's the
Okay.
thing. I don't need the ratio. I can just like
But you're not grabbing a
eat
whole
nachos.
you're not grabbing a whole handful and you're going to get liquid cheese on you. Like we're talking about nachos. We're just not talking about the chips. We're talking about like the cheese, the toppings,
Yeah.
everything else. Yeah, you're not taking a whole handful. You're not getting like
Well, not
liquid
like a
cheese.
big handful, but you can take like a couple chips.
Sure enough, man. Sure enough, Connell. So you think nachos would be better in a movie theater, but
Yeah.
you've never had it. Are you going to check out the different indoor football leagues that we should follow and
Yes,
stuff like
I
this?
think that's a great idea. I'm gonna look them up and
Yeah. And you
see
better, yeah,
if the teams are good and stuff.
yeah, you got to check it
We
out. And
can,
then we
I
will
guess,
be
talk
super,
about it next Thursday.
yeah, we'll be super fans. Okay. Just super fans.
Yeah.
We'll maybe even get swag. Who knows, man? But we will be all over that team that we pick. Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
we are a little bit beyond time. This was awesome, Connell. Thank you very much. Like I said, the technology worked, so that's always exciting that we had
Yep.
this today. So thank you very much for phoning. And listen, all you listeners out there, you too can phone. Just like Connell. Actually, Connell used the actually in-app way to contact me, so you can also do that, or you can use the 1-844 number, which is always good. So. Anyways, anything else to say, Connell, before you go?
Oh no, I think that's it. But
That's it.
yeah.
Is anyone else up this morning?
I mean, Finnan and Dad are here.
Oh, that's all right then. Yeah. Hopefully Serafina sleeps in. You know,
Yeah.
she's an older teenager now. She needs her sleep. Anyways, we will be praying in about 10 minutes. So yeah, thank you very much for joining this ride, and we will hopefully see you in prayers and hopefully next week at the weekly rundown. Take care of my little tater tots. Bye.